of like, who do I trust from a delegation? You are looking at people who are going to be pillars of the community in the future, right? So when I'm here with my stake pool, I'm like, look, I'm here, I want to be part of consensus. I'm going to play my part, and then I think, well, who else is playing their part here, and what do we want the community to look like? Do we want it to be full of like 40 seats taken by, you know, a pool that shall not be mentioned? We shall not give them any more publicity, and it's not run by me. If anybody asks, 420, your thoughts?
I think what you guys are saying, if they don't know you, they can't like you. That's very good. That's very accurate. And I'm just feeling very grateful. Sorry, this is off topic, but I'm very grateful for Epochs End, guys. Thank you, everyone who's joining right now. Happy Epochs End.
No, Epochs End is here for everyone to speak their mind. It's a safe place for everyone to just chill out, and be who you are. And that's nice about this space. We're not going to try to like impress anyone. We just be true to yourself, and happiness will come.
And be open to the idea that these roles are evolving. Like I can't lie and say I understood necessarily when I first got the domain name Cardano420, but I didn't understand the full implications of what it would be to run a stake pool. But again, that's the parts that can feel like a little bit stressful. I think if you embrace it and lean into it just as a learning experience, for me personally, it helps me from getting overwhelmed. And yet at the same time, when we spread ourselves too thin, it's we usually do it with the best intentions, So I can't do all the things that I necessarily might want to, but I can do a few things really well and make a big impact with that, And Cardano just presents so many opportunities and ideas and concepts. It's like it can be almost an overload for me personally. It's just like I feel like I can get excited about a few too many things and then neglect a lot of the things that I am passionate about because of that. So it's a beautiful thing though, and it has been just a learning experience, and it's pretty incredible, incredible experience so far.
Awesome. Just keep plugging away. Consistent action over a long period can give you surprising results. Just while we're talking about actions, maybe it's a good point just to remind everyone, if you share the space, we'll get more listeners on, and that'd be really nice. So please do. If you go to your bottom right-hand corner normally, you can go there and say share via tweet, and there you go. So that's helpful for the space. Just we get bigger audience. It's nice to hear what everyone's thinking and doing. Anybody else want to speak?
We got Patrick, we got James, we got Lace Pool. Welcome, guys. Happy Epochs End.
Hey, guys.
Hey there.
It's great to be here. Hey, Lace.
Hey, Patrick. How are things out in Germany? Because we saw all the stuff in the news. Like, are you guys okay? And what's the development out there?
Yeah, it's been crazy, but I think by now it's not that much anymore, which is going on. I think a lot of people in like the northwest lost their houses, and they are in like a temporarily very bad situation, but I'm like more in the south, so it didn't really affect me, or my house. It only affected my servers, which was annoying, but I'm very happy that it wasn't worse than it could have been, right?
That was some scary footage that I saw of those floods. That was really kind
of yeah, that's right.
Incredible.
But as Patrick said, I think it's quite local, so it's not everywhere in Germany, but it's quite some local spots. So I'm also not affected at all here in Berlin. We have quite some nice weather and no rain at all. So
it's crazy how different it can be in just these
absolutely
geographic areas that are relatively close, but just a completely different reality.
It's crazy that 3 of the speakers right now are German. Germans are taking over.
Germans have taken over Epochs End.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk about 2 things with you guys, if you don't mind. First of all, I have like a small announcement to make. I'm actually launching NFT Maker Pro tonight.
Oh shit!
So like
nice.
5 to 6 hours.
Amazing news. Well done.
Thank you. And the second thing is, I'm very curious about Project Catalyst. Like, what's your opinion on that? Which projects do you endorse, for mine, of course. Don't have to show me here. And like in general, what do you think about Catalyst and how it's evolving over time? And are you happy with it or not?
I'm going to admit now that since I have voted once in Catalyst, and I've followed many projects, but as of late, that's one of the aspects of my role as an SPO that I have been neglecting, is the Catalyst front. So, yeah, I got to own up to that.
Don't be ashamed, 420. Don't be ashamed. I've done the same, literally the same. I voted once to see if it works, and then I just think we just need a button in. So Amazon copyrighted that one-click buy thing because it was so useful. It removed barriers. So I'm all about removing barriers, right? So what I want to see is a button in Daedalus, and I click it with Leonidas's wallet, obviously, because it's not my money. I can't tell you about my wallets. So Leonidas will vote with just one button. That's what I want. And at the moment, I have to do this thing with another app on my phone. And
honestly, we defer to you, and I'm actually curious what projects have caught your eye.
It's actually kind of sad that you both don't vote for Catalyst. I mean, Catalyst is, in my opinion, the most exciting part about Cardano because you can actually like log in and just shape the direction that the whole project is going.
Patrick, are you a stake pool operator?
Yes.
Good on you, man. I think it's definitely, I mean, I'm a stake pool operator, but, I still have, between family and work, it's, I support the project, but we're really putting a lot of time into a lot of this stuff, and sometimes you have to pick and choose, right?
For sure. And I'm not saying that it's wrong or anything. Maybe you don't have the time, and that's totally fine. I just think it's sad because it's so cool.
No, I second that, actually, that sentiment. I'm kind of sad about that as well. So that's because I agree that Catalyst is laying the groundwork. I mean, it's not even a point of contention. I mean, it is laying the groundwork for the network. And with Alonzo, right, that's only going to increase in speed and efficiency. And no, it's something to be conscious of because it is literally shaping the future of the network. Now we're in that era, already. Yeah. So
decentralization,
excited that on my end, but
it's super important. It's part of the decentralization of the whole thing, and being able to have a non-federated voting mechanism built in is beautiful. And more and more we'll see things outside of funding projects, but we'll see things we'll be voting on code and voting on who's the main developer on the whole system. There's a lot of things, and I really should put more time and effort into knowing it better and all of that, and I haven't.
This is a beautiful opportunity here, though. So everyone who
absolutely
kind of just bears the shame together, maybe next Epoch, you come back with a few of the most impressive Catalyst projects, and I'll put my money where my mouth is.
Should we move swiftly on from our shame, 420, and go, because I see Bullish Dumpling is listening. I wonder if she wants to come on and give us a China update, because they're always good. She gives me news that I don't get elsewhere, and I like that.
Dumpling, that's the ball's in your court, as they say. Oh, okay, there we go. She's added. Welcome, Dumpling. Happy Epochs End. Yes, you're coming through perfectly clear.
Thank you, Guru and 420. 420 is super happy to have you back. Very reassuring and very nice to hear from you. And see some new faces.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Of course. And see many new faces today. I see Patrick, Stevo, James, and Lace Hero. Hi. My apologies. Today only going to have a very short China update because I'm quite tired. But I have a quick piece of good news to share with you from China.
Awesome.
One of the largest Chinese crypto medias covered Cardano ecosystem a few days ago. It's quite interesting because Chinese crypto media rarely mentions Cardano, and that's one of the reasons people in China don't know about Cardano. The article itself was not very high quality because they clearly didn't do much research, basically just copy-pasted the different projects' descriptions without digging further. But I think it's a great news because Cardano is picking up momentum and getting some mainstream attention. That's great. I want to share this with you. And I believe my Chinese content production played a little bit role in this, so I'm happy to share this with you.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very
Yeah.
impressive.
So that's all for me. And interesting discussion. I heard you guys talking about Catalyst Fund 5. So looking forward to further discussions for today, and happy Epochs End, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you for tuning in
And
on a
how's your
Saturday.
stake pool doing before you run off?
I got a bit more delegation, and the mini whale still staying, so that's good. Thanks for asking, Guru.
Great news. Well, we wish you luck,
Thank
and
you.
thank you so much for the update. I mean, I really enjoy it, and that's amazing news, because I think the
Yeah.
value of getting exposure, even if it's low quality, is still
Absolutely. It
substantial,
takes time.
especially in such a large market. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, it's good to see those cracks opening. So we're happy.
Thank you, Guru.
Right. 420, who else do we have on our rota?
We have a people who have speaking ability who haven't spoke yet. If you guys want to
Hey,
say hello.
what's going on? If you don't mind me just jumping in.
Hey, Hero, good to hear
How's
from you.
everybody
Welcome,
doing?
sir.
Happy Epochs End.
Hey, Hero.
Good. Happy Epochs End.
Kind of a special one for me. I got my first block this epoch, so that was definitely
Oh,
Congratulations.
an amazing
Congrats, man.
experience. I wanted to say thanks to Bullish Dumpling for all her work with the China. That's big. It's big.
Thank you, Hero.
As far as Project Catalyst, just touching base on that, if you haven't checked out Catalyst, you need to. It's evolved so much from where it was in the beginning, from the first fund to Fund 5. It's totally a whole different world. I suggest go get involved, look at it, go to idea scales. You can review these projects before they even come up. I hope you don't mind my cat, Guru. She wants attention.
Cats are always welcome. Cats will one day rule the world. That's the truth.
So definitely get involved if you guys aren't. Even if you take 5 minutes a day and just go to Project Catalyst and check it out, it's worth it. Trust me.
I'm definitely gonna. Like I said, that's my kind of epoch challenge for the next 5 days, is to do some real quality, substantial research on my Catalyst projects and do some voting.
What's the payment for voting at the moment? Like, what are we looking at? What am I missing out on?
As far as like a reward, it costs, I think,
Yes.
a reward. You're not going to get much of a reward. It's not about that. It's about governance and picking the direction, the blockchain that you believe that the blockchain should go. I mean, if you don't believe that, sorry, Liquid, I love Liquid, but if you don't believe in what Liquid Finance is doing, you can go vote no because you don't believe they deserve those funds. So you have a yes or no vote on every project. And by the way, vote yes for Liquid. They're great.
Yeah, just an example there.
And something.
Here's the challenge, though, right? If you've got a substantial wallet, right, and it's on a hardware wallet, you just don't want to take any chances. I'm not going to plug that in for the sake of no incentive or a tiny incentive, because I've seen what's happened, and I know what happens in crypto, which is the moment you create any risk surface, you increase your exposure. So I don't even want to think about that. So it's like
you can use your hardware
400K pledge, right?
Yeah, you can use funds on a hardware wallet for Catalyst voting.
Fund 5 was the first that you were able to, but it is available now.
Specifically,
I don't want to say
Guru.
my funds are held, but I don't want to say they're offline, and it's difficult to
paper wallets
vote with them. So don't give my secrets away for
trading.
Must be that.
Maybe you have a small account that you delegate to a different pool. Maybe just use that to vote.
Just like any democracy, Guru, we all have to take part for it to function properly. We need engagement from the whole community.
My contribution is to scream and shout and give entertainment.
Come on,
which is fine.
That's actually what I do as well. I have my pledge pool, and the pledge is not what I'm using for Catalyst, but I have a different wallet that is connected. So I'm just using that, which is much smaller. But in the end, I don't care so much as long as I can participate.
Yeah, I think just what good wallet management is one of those things. It's like you want to do it, but it's so high risk, you don't really want to do it. Does that make sense to anyone else? Like, I don't know. Like, I think when you're doing a traditional financial system, I can move money around. If I get it wrong, I call the bank and they can fix it for me. But if I make a mistake and I put in the wrong digit or I do something and then my funds disappear, there's no phone number. And I think that's important to remember. That's the beauty of the project, but also one of its things you have to be cautious of. So you have to understand the beast you're playing with. So my funds are secure; nobody can touch them. But the moment I try to do something with them, I increase the risk. So it's about reassuring people like well, myself to a degree. Now you guys are right about using other wallets, and I've done that, so that's fine. I'm just playing devil's advocate in that sense. The right channel's open. I think most people are kind of well served now. So the next round, here's my commitment. The next round, Leonidas will make a vote. I've committed. There you go.
He should get.
That's quite admirable.
Get double the voting power. I'm gonna write Charles.
I think cats should get double voting powers. I totally
We
agree.
could vote to give Leonidas's vote double power. Can we do that?
It is actually possible. If you could convince enough people to do it, you possibly could change protocol eventually. Well, that's the dream, isn't it? Where we have a decentralized system where we as a community can choose exactly what it does. And
I wouldn't want to expose
it's going to be
Leonidas
beautiful when
to
it
that
happens.
type of decision. I mean, that type of power corrupts, you know? So it doesn't matter how pure he is.
Is this like crowdfunding within crowdfunding?
Yes, the cat is terrible. My wife complains about him. He's destroyed one plant already, and she says that he has my energy, which is why he's misbehaved. So that's the update from the Guru household.
Is there anybody who has not spoken yet who wants to say hello?
I mean, I kind of spoke earlier, but I'll say hello anyway.
Hello, Steve.
You know, I run the salt pool, and we're about to.
Steve,
I
think I've seen you around before. I've not heard from you much, and I have no idea who you are, what you do, where you're from. So, tell us. Let us get to know you a bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I've worked with computers for pretty much my whole life, and I am based out of Utah, and
how big was your first floppy drive?
My first pocket drive? Oh,
floppy
God.
Drive.
Wait, what drive?
How big was your first floppy drive?
Oh, floppy drive.
That's such a personal question.
It is a good question. It was a 5 1/4. I'm pretty old school. And I was a youngin', but it was great, man. I think it was a 286. I can't even remember. I mean, I was, it's like 90, I don't know, early 90s. Man, but it's been a journey for sure. That's part of me being in crypto and being within the Cardano ecosystem and all this. Like, I felt like I was pretty young during like the dawn of the internet and like the .com craze and all that. And from like an investment standpoint and like being able to live off this sort of thing, like I kind of missed that boat because I was too young. And here I am today, and we're in this cutting edge system, and I want to be right on it. And I feel like everybody can sympathize with me. I mean, I think there's a lot of us in the same boat. Perhaps we were too young during that time, or we didn't have the kind of funding for those kind of things, and now we do. We're in like a really good position, right? And we're trying to make the best of it and trying to learn.
There seems to be a lot of millennials around. I think a lot of us are in that boat where we missed out on the property boom and the internet boom, and then we're left with the crypto. We're like, oh, is this going to be the next thing? And everything points in the right direction. We're like, well, are we too early? Are we right? Because in 2019, 2020, I had my doubts, but here we are, and I don't see this going away.
I'm with you, and I like to think that we're at the beginning, right? And I think I mean I like to think I was at the beginning with Cardano, and I still hope people coming in are at the beginning. I think we have a long way to go, and I think there's a lot of cool growth in the system, and mass adoption still hasn't happened, I don't think. But yeah, other than that, like
and just real quick, that reminds me of what we were talking earlier about Catalyst. It's interesting because if I believe in Cardano, which I do wholeheartedly, if you look back at like the origins of the internet and like the birth of computers, the early stages can be incredibly consequential. Like certain things that take place at the very beginning, early stages of this new type of technology can have like really far-reaching consequences, and good or bad, you know? So that's almost Catalyst in a beautiful way that the computer boom didn't have, and early maybe internet boom, .com boom, all that didn't have, was this type of decentralized voting mechanism, you know? So it is a beautiful thing, and it is a nice, you know, whether you want to have all of your funds on a wallet that votes on Catalyst or this or that, it is a beautiful thing, and it's empowering, you know? But it is, you know, like anything,
Yeah, I think
like voting in a democratic process. It takes time and energy, you know,
yeah,
but it's a worthy cause.
yeah. I think many systems, very few systems, allow users the level of feedback that Cardano allows, even within the crypto industry. Like if you hold Bitcoin, you don't get a say, do you really? What can you really do? You hold it and you hope it goes up. If you don't agree with what Max Kaiser's doing, you can't remove his funding.
Yeah.
So it's you know,
yeah, it's true.
With Cardano, you get a say. And, you know, if Charles Hoskinson goes off the rails one day, you can vote for another development company, and that's an option, right? Isn't that beautiful? And it allows you to have some faith and security. Now, I hope he lives a long and healthy life and he continues to be part of the community, but I'm sure he would like to see other people, you know, develop and move the system forward.
It'll probably end up being
and that's
Patrick,
the beauty of having a decentralized system.
Hey, this is Drew. I just had a question. And maybe Hero sounds like he's been voting with Catalyst since the beginning. Fund 4 was the first time I voted. And one thing I was disappointed is that I had to re-register and get a new PIN number for Fund 5. So I was wondering, my question is, it seems like once you register your wallet, you shouldn't have to do it again. And then my other question was more towards Guru. What I don't understand what the risk is. I have my funds on my Yori wallet on my phone, and I registered to be able to vote. I had to put in my spending password to send the small fee, but that was it. I mean, I don't understand how that's a real risk, and so if you could expand on that. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a good question, and maybe I'm overplaying the risk, but even there are people who are
It's about
cautious
cold
to
storage, right,
move the
Guru?
delegation.
It's like a
Yeah, it's like security risk, right? The way you think about it is what we call an air gap. So you want to have as much as possible air gapped, so nothing in that domain ever touches the outside world, and that way you guarantee your security. So you don't wake up one day and see your wallet's a bit empty, right? Because it can happen, and if that happens, there's nobody to call. And that's the beauty and also the the dark side of decentralization. So if it's a truly decentralized system, nobody should be able to roll back the network because you got hacked, right? Because that not only destroys your wealth, but it destroys the whole community's wealth to a degree. So I think there isn't a massive risk, but maybe it's a reminder about like there are different users with different security needs, and if you do hold substantial amounts, having an air gap system is very, very important. So, and that's become more important for me since like I'm still getting over 30 cents ADA. So, it's just, for me, it's a life-changing amount. And I'm not
is this I know this is what do you think of this? So I have the majority of my ADA in the Daedalus wallet, which is on my computer, and then I have a lesser amount on my phone. And the Daedalus wallet, it literally never syncs. So I probably had it sync maybe maybe a half a dozen times. So I literally can't open it up. So I feel like
bit unwieldy.
Funds are super secure since I can't even open it.
Here's the question: are those two wallets plugged into a hardware wallet, or are they hot wallets?
I do not have a hardware wallet.
So in essence, what you have are hot wallets. That means that if that device doesn't even have to be Daedalus that needs to be compromised, if they compromise any part of your device and manage to extract because somewhere on your device is your password, and they can extract a lot just. from
You
that
mean like
guaranteed.
somewhere
So
in memory
there is no
because I put in my password at some point that it might be in a remnant somewhere on my hard drive? Is that what?
I think what
Well,
Guru
and
what
all they
Guru's
need to do
asking
is
you
send
is
your
if
funds
it's
to a wallet they control. They don't need your, you know what I mean? They just
he's
need control
basically
momentarily.
he's asking if the machine is online, if it's ever been online, or if it's offline. Thus, talking about going back to the air gapped machine. I mean, I think there's a lot of. I mean, he's right. There's everybody, each individual, we're all different. We all have different levels of security needs. And I mean, if you're putting yourself out there, like myself, I mean, I'm putting my name Steve-O out there. My security risk goes up a little bit, right? And I mean, I mean, we can get really deep into it, from people following you, like in real, like off the internet, right? To
IRL.
just being. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of, again, everybody has their own security needs, but I think what Guru is getting at is, is the machine that you have the majority of your funds, is it air gapped, or is it is it an offline machine? If it isn't, that's a security risk, and is it a security risk you're willing to take? And that's majority of the people are going to be, going to have their funds stored, on a machine that connects to the internet. And I mean, we can get as deep as we want into it.
Yeah,
But
I guess it's
I should follow.
progression. Like for me, for many years, I just kept my funds on the exchange, and then when Shelly came about, I decided to just sell all my shit coins that I had and buy Cardano and start staking it. So that's what moved me off the exchange and onto my computer. So yeah, I haven't gone that next step to get the hardware wallet, but I feel like that's...
Yeah, if there's one thing that you do, sorry, Drew, I don't want to cut you off, but I was going to say that if there's one thing that you do, definitely get a hardware wallet, because that's such a good investment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does
I think
anybody have
Guru,
any comments about my other question about why we would have to register for each fund individually?
Drew, I
think
you don't.
kind of
better.
speak to that.
So
I can kind of speak
No,
to that.
actually, you do. I registered for Fund 4, and then I had to register for Fund 5, in which case I got a new PIN number for Fund 5.
I can speak to that somewhat. At the very beginning of every Catalyst meeting, it always says things are going to break, things are going to change. This is the beginning of Catalyst. It's a process, and eventually that's going to go away where you're not going to have to register for it, I would imagine.
The art
Just
of
like I believe
iteration.
the cost will go down. But it's an evolution, and it takes time. Eventually that should go away, though.
Hey guys, I don't mean to be rude. I gotta pop off, but thanks for having me up on this stage.
You
And
rock,
I just want to
Steve-O.
really quick.
Happy Epochs End.
Oh,
Hey,
thanks.
good to
Fortune.
hear from you. Thank you.
Yeah, and Guru, maybe we can have a conversation later more about security. It would be interesting to host one of these spaces, solely talking about security sometime.
It's a good
Oh,
topic.
definitely.
That's a good idea.
Maybe we'll do an Epochs End with a security topic. That'd be quite good, actually.
Yeah. All right, guys, I gotta go. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I don't know who got
Hey,
cut off.
Sean. Sean's updated his profile picture. There we go.
Yes, I did. Some wise man told me to be a little more personal.
Welcome,
don't
sir.
listen to
Happy
random people
Epochs
on the
End.
internet.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I just wanted to let everyone know, 420, I'm not sure if you saw, but I created a community portal for everyone to get some more information on how to safely do anything, how to do different things. I also created a new initiative to help small stake pools that are mission-driven under 1.2 million ADA. I put links to certain pools that I found to meet that criteria. So if everyone wants to take a look at this portal, it's using Linktree. Feel free to share it, to use it. There's tons of videos there to help you out. Information, I put Hero Stake Pool news flash on there, quick access there. So it's a great repository for information.
I just did a little retweet on that post with the link to it. So
nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's just my way of helping out the community, guys, to promote safe practices. I got a call last week. A guy got his money stolen, all of his crypto stolen. He messed up. Yeah,
absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there's nothing you can really say. That's just a terrible conversation.
And I just want to remind everyone here, if you're looking for information in regards to Coinbase or Binance and someone DMs you, ignore them. Everybody, ignore them. It's fake. They're not going to DM you and ask you for stuff.
That's what scares me, that momentary lapse and maybe like awareness of just what, sometimes you're going through emails and you're clicking stuff and ding, ding, ding. And then, it could just be that one time when they get access and that's all it takes. And some
cold storage, instances. Lock it away, put it somewhere you don't want to know, and then be old school, like the pirates, dig it, get your plates, dig them in a hole.
You know what though? These guys are getting slick, man. Their profile looks like they're legitimate tech support for let's say Coinbase, and they DM you like, hey, provide me your email address and I'll help you out. And then they send you an email with what looks like legitimate links. You click on the links and it looks like legitimate websites and all that stuff. It asks for information. And I know he knows where he went wrong. He gave out his seed phrases. I know, laugh if you will. But hey, it happens to the best of us, guys.
And the unfortunate part too is that it preys on people who are less familiar, because as you just spend time exchanging crypto and buying NFTs or doing this in a small way, you just gain a better understanding of how things work and the certain security settings.
But 420, my concern is that even though people are smart in this space, when someone comes at you and they look 100% legitimate and they send you links that look 100% legitimate and you really need help and you're desperate, you're a smart guy, you make mistakes. It happens. It's crazy. He got 6,500.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No. He had $6,500 stolen from him. Gone.
And the pain of that will only increase over time as the prices appreciate, unfortunately.
Yep, absolutely. And he realizes that, and he feels like such an idiot. Anyway, we kind of connected on I'm going to say a personal level. He shared with me a lot of information, emails. So eventually I'll be retweeting the experience, covering his private information.
Oh, that's really valuable.
I asked him if it was okay. He said, "Absolutely, Sean. You've helped me in the past. I trust you. We need more people out like you out there helping people. So yeah, please share with everyone my experience because I don't want this to happen to anyone else." I'm like, "Absolutely." So look out for that.
I don't know if you hello, happy Epochs End. I don't know if you heard it, but Patrick.
So your balance is on the blockchain. It's never really on my computer. So how is it introducing a hardware wallet any different? I understand
because someone has to have physical access to your hardware wallet rather than being able to access it remotely because it's connected to the internet, right? So when you take that hardware wallet out of your computer and it's just sitting there, it is not accessible via, as long as you created the passwords on that. You know what I mean?
So Drew, let me clarify that. So it's a big misconception that when you use a cold wallet, your coins are stored on the cold wallet. That's not true at all. The only thing that's stored on
and I understand that.
Perfect. So
but I guess there's definitely a missing piece that I'm not understanding.
So have you ever done a transaction on a hot wallet, like let's say in the Yori or the Daedalus?
Yeah, I transact. I try to buy as frequently as I can from Coinbase, and I send it to my
Which
wallet.
Is a hot wallet, correct? Right.
Yep.
So it asks you for a spending password, right?
Well, when I'm on Coinbase, I just have to put in the 2FA number.
Perfect.
But yeah, when I signed up for Fund5, or when I did the NFT maker, I think I had to send a couple ADA.
Right. Okay. So the point is when that transaction is ready to happen, you need to plug your hardware wallet into it, and the wallet's going to say, "Hey, tell me your password," and that cold wallet is what talks to the wallet and allows a transaction rather than a spending password. Do you see what I'm saying? So without that cold wallet,
this is really great information. I do want to take this kind of opportunity to remind everybody that we do have a For Beginners chat in our Epochs End Discord, which I think is another place where this is the perfect type of content for such security, just for future reference for everybody. If you have more questions for Sean or anyone in the community, that's a good place to go as well.
Absolutely.
But thank you. Keep going.
So Drew, that's
All
the
right.
point, Drew, is you cannot activate a transaction without plugging in your hardware, your cold wallet, and allowing that transaction with that cold wallet. That's why it's secure. Because even if someone hacked into your phone and they got your password or whatever, your seed phrase, they cannot take your crypto. Well, they wouldn't get your seed phrases because you have a cold wallet. But the point is without that cold wallet, they cannot activate a transaction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the difference. A hot wallet is a hackable password that's stored on your phone somewhere. A lot of people use password managers and stuff like that, so they can get into your information that way. But if you're secured with a cold wallet, they physically need that cold wallet to initiate or to finalize a transaction.
It's as simple as your keys are stored on the hardware wallet.
That's exactly true. Yep, password, keys, whatever you want to call it, are stored on the hardware wallet. That's right. And without that, you cannot do a transaction.
There are risks to everything, though, because these hardware wallets are built by companies which have had data leaks and hacks of their own in the past, which obviously doesn't lead directly to people's money being stolen, but it is its own type of threat there. So it's just
420. Let me add to that, please.
Of.
If you're going to buy a cold wallet, everyone, do not buy a cold wallet from Amazon. Buy it right from the manufacturer. I repeat, buy it right from the manufacturer. I don't care if it's $20 more, $30 more. Do not buy it from a third party, because there's known incidents of companies like Amazon. Someone buys a cold wallet. Their legitimate task is to reconfigure that cold wallet, send it back, and there could be some information in there or a software or virus that spreads out the key, and it's really just fake. It's been known to happen. So do not buy a cold wallet from Amazon. Only direct from the manufacturer.
Oh, hey,
it's over.
That was a perfect climax to what you were saying, Sean.
Boom!
Damn, these scammers.
Happy Epochs End, everybody.
Happy Epochs End.
Happy Epochs End. That's 15 minutes late because I was so in the conversation, but yeah, happy Epochs End.
These scammers get very elaborate.
They do.
I don't. Good evening, by the way, and happy Epochs End. I don't know if you heard it. Patrick isn't here anymore, so he can't tell. But he tweeted about it yesterday. Someone actually copied a profile of. All
right. Well, thanks for the info. I'm gonna pop off, and
I don't think he can.
And I'm sure I'll see all you guys later.
All right, Drew.
Thank you, Drew. You rock, man. Happy Epochs End.
Peace out,
Drew. Drew, if you need anything, please message me direct. I have no problem helping you
out. They even had a profile from, I don't know, the profile was from 2011, so it was old, and it had 12,000 followers, and they kind of took that profile and revamped it and copied the profile of some guy in the Cardano community, and they DM'd Patrick, and even he nearly fell for it because it looked exactly the same, and he knows the guy, and he was like, yeah, I nearly fell for it. And I think you all heard Patrick talk. He's very elaborate in this space, so even if he can be fooled for a few seconds, be aware.
Yeah, no, great point.
I would highly recommend anyone who's doing anything that doesn't seem right or feel right, reach out to the community, reach out to someone like 420 or myself or the guru, and we can point you in the right direction to get some reliable information. Do not take advice from random people.
Reference the Epochs End for Beginners section, because I do think that has the potential to really, along with official sources from Cardano, but just in an approachable way, kind of elucidate these security concepts, because they do take time to understand. You have to understand the blockchain, even for the idea that these wallets are just keys to act to have control over this chunk of the blockchain itself. We have a stake in this whole project when we have ADA, and really, you know, you hold some keys which give you access to directing where those will go or where they won't go. And so it's just a matter of how do you store those keys. And obviously having them offline is ultimately the great, you know, step in that direction. But also having two wallets or multiple wallets, which are isolated from each other and have their own sets of funds. And you just kind of assess the risk profile that you're coming up against with whatever setup you have, you know.
And I'll leave.
Okay, I don't want to risk more than this amount in that wallet, you know.
So I'd like to add to that about the cold wallet. If anyone decides to get a cold wallet, I highly recommend a fireproof pouch in addition to a fireproof safe, and make sure it's a legitimate fireproof safe, because a lot of these safes, they advertise they are, but really they're not. And what happens is anything inside it cooks like an oven in the event of a fire. So if you have a fireproof safe,
scary to think about.
But it's true. This has happened. This stuff has happened. People buy expensive safes.
The worst time that you want to lose your money happens, you know, like if your house burns down, that's the time you're going to need those funds the most. And to have that happen would be absolutely tragic.
Yeah.
Do you have a recommendation for cold wallets, some specific manufacturers? Because I've been looking into them, but I'm actually a bit overwhelmed by all the offers. So maybe
how many coins do you want to store?
Not that much.
Sorry, let me rephrase the question. How many types of coins do you want to store?
Mostly ADA, to be honest.
So then my recommendation, if you want to just keep it simple, a Ledger Nano S. That's my recommendation. If anyone wants to correct me or anything like that, it's a relatively cheaper one. But if you have multiple coins, you can get a Trezor, or you can even get the Nano X. I think it's called the Nano X, but that introduces another layer of security, because now that has Bluetooth. So essentially, you know, the more access to the hardware wallet, the less secure at the end of the day. So for me, I'm a big fan of the Nano S, just to keep my ADA secure. That's the simple way.
I'll fight you on that one, Sean. Outside. So I'll say Trezor Model T. And so for the simple reason that Trezor is running all of their firmware open source, while Ledger decides to black box it. And to the uninitiated, most people might think that, well, that sounds nice, that, you know, the black boxing the software around this, that must make it much more secure, but that's not how it works in reality. In reality, that just masks the box away and limits the amount of people that are able to find issues with it.
That's a very good point.
Prince Leonidas uses a Trezor. That's all I'm saying. It's been Leonidas approved. So Trezor is probably, I used to have Ledgers, and I think once you understand that the firmware is open source on a Trezor, you realize the value of it. You're like, okay, if the whole company collapses tomorrow, and you have any issues, somebody will know how it works, as opposed to Ledger, where it's a black box. So if Ledger collapses,
or just imagine a situation where an employee in that company is actually exploiting something there and introducing some kind of virus or whatever, some software in there, and it gets out and it gets distributed, and then here we are in a mess.
Yep. So there you go. The answer is the Trezor.
Okay, thank you. I will look to that. Another way of
these spaces right here, guys. We're all learning new things, and
another way of keeping your funds secure is obviously also spending all your ADA on NFTs and don't have enough ADA on your wallet to send them away.
Yeah, the safest way really to hold ADA is to have a zero balance. You know, if you want true invulnerability, I guess. If you can figure out a way to do that comfortably.
Well, they do say in life nothing is owned, it's only borrowed.
By the person with the most ADA is the continuation of that, I think, right?
Yeah. Speaking of NFTs. Sorry,
maybe a smart way. Sorry, just a bad joke, I guess. But maybe another way you could do it is you just build your big fort, and so you have your Trezor and whatnot, and put it into 5 different safes, and in the end, your hardware wallet is just empty. There's nothing in it, and your real funds are just next to it on a paper.
It's like an Indiana Jones movie where it's like you're going through all these, like the Temple of Doom, to get to this wallet, and then it's empty.
Or you have to disassemble the hardware wallet and spread the parts on different safes.
That's actually an interesting idea. A wallet that can be stored with different components in different places, and then you have to piece them all together.
Well,
that's straight out of Star
Gamification
Wars.
for the scammers. Yeah.
I'll take 10%.
Well, I don't know
I'll
if
take
you've
10%
come
if you bring it
across,
live. Okay.
No, there's a thing called Shamir secret sharing. So it allows you to create a seed phrase that can be split and then recombined in different multiples. So you can have like a 3 or 5
That's
or
insane.
a 2 or 3, and you can do that with the Trezor. That's why I like it.
Hey, Sammy here from Stick with Pride.
Welcome.
What up? So, speaking of all this hardware wallet stuff, so I got the Ledger, and I have regrets. I mean, I love it. Get any hardware wallet you can, but definitely the Trezor seems a little better because it is open source, completely open source and verified. But I think Guru was mentioning the feature, the killer feature on the Trezor that I don't hear enough about is the idea of a seed for the seed phrase. So in other words, you have your regular seed phrase, your 24 mnemonic that you store, either on like a metal etched, burn proof paper, like they sell you those. You have like a pin. There's different like metallic mnemonic seed phrase storage devices that will not burn, or you can use other methodologies. But the problem with that is if someone knows where you live and then they forcefully force you to reveal this and then punch in your seed phrase into whatever, like they can take this tablet or whatever.
Which will unfortunately become an issue in the future.
And so then you lose your funds, right? And so the idea behind the feature that Trezor has is you have a seed word. It could be any word. You just have to remember one word or 10 words. And effectively, they're each a wallet, right? So in the Trezor, you put in your 24 words, but then there's a 25th word. And so if someone just puts in the 24 words, they'll get one wallet, which could be a wallet with, 1,000 ADA in it or whatever. But then when you really want to access your funds, you put in that additional 25th word, and you could have multiple wallets that way. It's a great way to have, 20 wallets with one device, one hardware device, but you need to remember the words. And you could use like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, I'm not revealing my strategies. I, of course, don't do this at all because I don't have a Trezor. But, my friend here.
It's all in Wallet 5. Wallet 5.
It's like soft links. It's like Linux soft links in wallet form almost.
Hey, Steak with Pride.
Heyo.
You have experience with this, holding multiple wallets on... Or sorry, your friend has experience with this, holding multiple wallets on the Trezor?
No, but I've read. I've just read about it on Reddit, and I've actually downloaded the instructions guides from Trezor, and it explains it in there. But okay. I don't have a Trezor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Ricardo.
Hello to everybody. Thank you for your help regarding security. It's very useful. I wanted to ask you about the use of Trezor or Ledger. I don't know if you can still be staking there by having your funds there.
Yes.
Can anyone? Yes.
Yes, 100%, Ricardo. Again, like we said before, your coins are not stored on the wallet, just your password. So the key is when you create your wallet, it's going to ask you, do you have a hard, like a cold wallet or a USB drive? And then you're going to say yes, or you're going to say hot wallet. So you need to set that up prior to setting up your wallet.
And it's an interesting aspect of this whole security concept.
Okay,
I mean, it goes back to the idea that your ADA is always on the blockchain, technically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's just your keys to access it are offline. So it's the wallet thing has always been kind of a misnomer in a way, because it suggests that, it's holding the funds as a physical wallet does, right?
Right.
But it's not. It's really just your access to said funds are assigned to, there's different layers from the blockchain to ultimately your final key,
right.
Which anyway, so yeah, that's what this is all about, is just how are you storing that access,
And if anyone
want it to be as far away from hackers as physically possible, obviously with you or in the safety deposit box.
If anyone wants to transfer or start using a cold wallet, you can't do that on the fly. You need to start a new one, just to let you know.
Okay, thank you very much.
There. And again, the Epochs End for beginners section I have a feeling that Sean is going to be the king of that.
No,
Discord.
I'm not going to be the king of that. Sorry.
No, you know what though, Sean, you have the heart of a teacher. You know, you can tell. You know, that's what we're all trying to do, is share good information. So
I appreciate that.
I hope you help people out in there. You know, that'd be a great resource.
Absolutely.
Newbies.
Well, you just let me know when you need me, and I'll be.
And myself included.
Yeah.
Not just newbies. Yeah.
Oh, before we forget, I have to remind everyone not to feed the bird. And I repeat, do not feed the bird. He is currently fasting, we're told.
Congratulations on that.
I'm watching. So as long as he doesn't, don't feed him, and he'll meet his objective. Apparently he's, what is he doing? He's supporting some charity or something. I should really find out more details before I announce stuff. But yes, please follow Eye of the King and support him in his good deeds.
Yes.
You know, that reminds me, I actually went out to a really, really great dinner last night. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. Keep pushing it, Eye of the King. That takes willpower.
Yeah.
I admire that.
Yeah, we all love Eye of the King. Eye of the King's got some really cool stuff coming up, guys. So follow him and listen to him. He's a good guy.
Oh, speaking of the security, whether or not you have a hardware wallet with a seed, or if you stay with a hot wallet because you like living on the edge, a really good security tip that's really easy to implement is, however you are storing your seed wallet, which should of course be offline, simply do a rearrangement of the words in some way that only you know is done. It might seem like it's not really much, but if somebody finds that page or whatever where they're on, and they have to try out all of the combinations, the worst case scenario for them, even if they're able to run 1 million options a second, it will still take them 20 billion years to work out all the various combinations.
Wow. That's a great extra layer. If you're
exactly, like, all that
really
takes
committed.
is that you just swap around the words on your
just don't
node.
bump your head.
Yeah, man. I mean, each different implementation has its own attributes, and again, the risk profile of each, but there's also something to be said for having your funds on a Yoroi wallet, which I have a Yoroi wallet, and I think it has over 300 transactions currently, but it's been a really
Remember, there's
great...
30%. There's almost 30% of Cardano currently, ADA, currently sitting in exchanges. So if CZ decides not to wake up one day, like, some people just think it's not going to happen to them, and maybe it won't. But it's like a seatbelt, right? If you're a bit sensible, you wear one because you think, well, it might not happen, but it might. And on that day, I'll be happy that I wore it. So it's like,
to be fair,
exchanges
I was in a
have
car
gone down.
Once that was not, I wasn't driving, but I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, and they said that's what saved my life. So I don't mean to play devil's advocate, Guru, but that's a true story too. I'm sorry, I kind of just shit on your analogy. I didn't mean to do that, but that's true. I did survive an intense crash.
Thank you for 20.
And the part where I was sitting was crushed. So if I had been wearing it, I wouldn't have been. Anyways.
Well,
that's
the reality,
unless you're a freak, unless you're a freak like 420, and you're able to escape fate.
That's peak survivorship bias right there.
Yeah, and
that's a nat 20.
I gotta check.
Generally,
I gotta check myself.
Yeah, but that's on a very serious note. Like, exchanges are exchanges. You go there, you do your business, and you get out. Like, don't leave serious funds in there. And it's not a good feeling. Like, having exchange go down. Ask the people from Mt. Gox or from more recent hacks. There's nobody else to call, and it's a helpless place to be. So don't put yourself in that situation.
And the siren song of that is the appeal of, like, oh, you'll get extra returns on your and you'll get these benefits, and you can trade, and you can do all these trading tips. But as Guru actually said a while back, a lot of people get into crypto, including myself being guilty of this, and assume it makes them like money exchange experts and international, you know what I mean? Like Forex masterminds. And in reality, it's just a concept that has a lot of nuances, So just taking every security precaution and being aware of the risks of however you're holding your money, and then, acting accordingly.
Speaking of it,
things evolve over time too. Things are, will change over years, and we got to adjust to when those changes come.
I have a question. I was in a space, a Twitter space a few days ago. Actually, I think it was yesterday, sorry. And someone was mentioning that they were unable to remove their fiat money from Binance, and they lived in the UK. Is anyone else having this problem?
Why
Never
would you hold
tried
it?
to withdraw
Binance,
by fiat.
basically, you need to ask some basic questions like, why has Binance been targeted and not Coinbase and not any of the other exchanges? It's because Binance has basically been pushing to the edges of what they can do, and they've upset a lot of people. And it's going to come back to bite them because they are basically selling unregistered securities to noobs and promoting it like crazy. And you're not going to get away with that, not in this world. Like, you know, as much as we all believe in crypto and it's all anonymous and so on, if you're taking money off retail, you're going to get bitten. Like, don't do that. And yes, there was some pushback. So a lot of banks just decided to stop funds going into Binance. I think the withdrawals were again a bit more difficult, but Binance does that. Even with crypto, like randomly will stop your Cardano withdrawals. So just exchanges, there's no real regulation. If they decide to screw you over, they get hacked. There's not much you can really do. You're not protected. So I think sometimes when you come from the conventional world of, oh, this goes wrong, I can call, you know, mummy and daddy and they'll fix it, you know, regulators and so on, or call your lawyer, call the police, or all the usual places. In crypto, if your exchange goes down, there's no one to call.
Look what happened in Turkey about 3 months ago, right? The two of the top 5 exchanges, the owners realized, wow, look at how much money we have. They liquidated everyone's assets without anyone knowing, shut down the company, and left the country. $2 billion gone. No one could do anything about it.
And it's something
to
consider too.
How much funds does CZ hold?
Well, yeah, and the whole point of blockchain is it's meant to be a repudiation of centralized power. That's the whole like deeper fundamental idea, and yet we're holding it in these centralized entities who basically just tell us, oh, don't worry about anything. We'll make it easy. We'll make it simple. You know what I mean? It's just the classic confidence game. And, you know, success, you know, like attracts like. So it's just this network effect with these exchanges, I feel. But, and FOMO plays into that. And again, they're promising, the siren song is you'll make more money and you won't have to do anything. And if that's not too good to be true, I don't know what is, you know, I mean, that's essentially what they're promising. It's just remember this one password and you're going to be rich.
Yeah.
And it's like, what could go wrong?
I can just speak for myself, but I got into ADA earlier this year, also bought on an exchange, right? And I really think the community behind Cardano is so important to educate people on what is possible and how staking works, and you can earn rewards. And reading about that on Twitter, and especially from people like Cardano420, Cardano Guru, you know, if you follow them, it really got me to pull all my ADA from this specific exchange, because before that I actually didn't know. And I think a lot of people buy these cryptos, buy cryptocurrency of multiple taste, right? Because they think, yeah, this crypto thing is going to make me rich. And it's up to us as a community to educate them, because exchanges won't do that. They would like to keep to have you keep your funds on their platform.
Yeah, I think we want to turn as many bag holders into stakeholders, you know? So if you hold Cardano, you hold ADA, you're a stakeholder in their network, you have a say, exercise that say. And I'm guilty of not voting in Catalyst, but, you know, I delegate. So do as much as you can, but primarily for yourself. It's not a selfless act. I'm not asking you to do something that's against your own interest. If you have invested or you've purchased ADA, you are now, you know, you're holding capital in that currency. And for that network to do well, you do well. So if you then diminish the quality or security of that network through irrational delegation or suboptimal rewards through delegating to a certain cluster of nodes, then you're basically, for the sake of 0.05% of 5%, whatever it is, this tiny amount, you're destroying the main thing that you're holding. So move off exchange is good for your own security, and it helps the network, and then stake wisely and decentralize the network. And you're doing two good things as a stakeholder.
And remember too that there is that element of it's a liberating thing financially for a lot of people, or it can be, or it could just be a nightmare where they lose all their money, you know? So, and we can each in our own way contribute, you know, whether it's a large contribution, a small contribution, large and small. You know, it's just doing our part to spread good information. But there is an appeal, I think, for a lot of people who just don't understand the blockchain. Partly for me, Cardano has been so instructive over the last 3 years about how blockchain can work and should work, right? And just because people learn about Bitcoin and then someone goes, oh, you know, there's another thing called ADA, you know, it's some people's understanding of blockchain, and I was guilty of this. I mean, I'm still expanding my understanding, but it's just when you understand how the blockchain works, a lot of these conclusions we've come to become natural. I feel like they just come naturally. Once you start to learn how the keys work and get a better understanding of it, you're like, oh, I want to hold that myself, you know? And it's like, I want to control that. And I understand there's some responsibility to it, but the benefits totally outweigh the risks, in my opinion. But so, yeah, just sharing what we're doing right now, the good information about the blockchain will help people come to these conclusions on their own as well, you know?
Absolutely. And I experience the same with my friends if I talk about it, and sometimes I hear, oh yeah, I also hold some ADA, and then I ask like where, and I start talking about it, and mostly the answer is on the exchange. And then I dig a bit deeper and I start talking about it more and so on, and I feel like after 2 minutes already they start dropping out of the conversation more or less because it's getting too complex already. Starting about epochs and so on, they think like, oh wow, okay, this is too much. But at least I get them to a point where I make them understand, take your funds off the exchange because it's dangerous. It's a point where things happen where it could just be attacked and your funds are gone. So just be aware and take it off and stake it. You even get rewards.
I think it's important to reiterate that these things have happened. We're not speculating on something that might happen. Like people speculate on what happens if all the rewards finish on Bitcoin, right? That's like 2140 something. So we can speculate on that. But however, exchange hacks have happened and they will continue to happen. So don't be a victim when you know, there's clear warnings. Go there, you need to exchange, that's fine. But the moment you've done your business, get out.
Right. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that as we speak, Binance is probably under attack, and they're just still able to keep up their fences, but there's a continuous attack, I guess. There's always people trying to get in there and steal the funds, and they have been managing quite well up to now, but tomorrow it could look different. Who knows?
I have heard of stories where Binance especially is freezing people's ADA in order to capture more for the snapshot, so it makes them look better, kind of thing. So that's another thing to think of too. They control your coins. Remember that, guys. If you have your coins on the exchange, they own them, not you.
Not your keys,
not your crypto. Yeah, baby.
These are also, like, just to identify this, these are like central bank type money manipulation tactics, and I don't want to put on my tin hat right now, but you know what I mean? These are symptoms of centralization in general. They will just produce this type of behavior, and a certain level, I think, especially when it comes to currency, the temptation and the reward financially is too great to do some of these types of things. But when you take your money off the exchange, you're saying, not with my money. My money's, I decide where I delegate to, and I decide what my money does and where it goes, and I alone do that, you know? So there is a responsibility to that, but that kind of empowerment is beautiful too, you know?
And you know what else is beautiful, 420, is the fact that the Cardano community, for the most part, all the stake pool operators, we all help each other. For example, I just want to personally thank Lacepool. When I first got into this space, I wanted to create a stake pool, and I just fired him off a random message. He didn't know me, I didn't know him, and I was like, hey, Lacepool, can you help me out? And he literally answered every question I had and was like, yeah, good luck, you know, good for you, you know. So I just wanted to personally thank you for that, Lacepool. That was amazing. I don't know if you remember that, but that was very helpful.
No, I do. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, we're all here for each other, and guys, this is amazing. I love this community. I really do.
I want to second that with just saying Gingerpool. She requested to speak earlier. We had the maximum amount of speakers. I meant to include her. It looks like she might have fallen out, but anyone who doesn't get included, please just come back next Epochs End, and we'll. Sometimes I can lose track of the full list, but yeah, thank you guys. No, I think we could. Is now a good time for everybody? I think Epochs End.
Do you mind if I take the last rope?
Oh, please.
Thanks. Hi guys. I want to extend the gratitude of the entire Yifo Pedersen team for all the help we've been receiving in promoting our auctions and getting out there for people to see. Only 17 jewelry pieces are remaining right now, and with the last auction closing at over 2,100 ADA, so that's amazing. Woo! Thanks everyone for helping us build our brand. We're walking on cloud 9 right now, and special thanks is needed for you, Guru, and you, 420. Your continued support has been instrumental, and beyond that, it's an absolute pleasure to attend this call every epoch. And
thank you.
420, we also wanted to do a shout out for you. We were saddened to hear you parted your ways with your SaaS provider and lost your pool ticker, but we want to revigorate you to keep at it. You build your delegation back in no time and go beyond. The lost state stings in the present, but your community contributions are real, and everything you built still here is here in granite. So as soon as you've got your new ticker on the blockchain, you can count on our support, and you're still in the epilogue of your adventure. So you're going to crush it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, I'm here for you too, 420. And lead time, please DM me. I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. You guys rock. I really appreciate you. Guru, you have to choose the NFT winner for this.
I'm going to do something special. I'm going to do something special for you, 420.
Yeah, what's that?
I'm going to create an NFT just for you.
Oh, for 279.
And it's not going to be that horrible. Yeah, and it's not going to be that horrible one where it says like me and you, the stick animals and best friends. Remember that one?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, the gifts I give you don't remember. So no, I will create an NFT just to commemorate the fact that we've done. Is that 16 episodes now? 17?
It's since the beginning of May. We did the first Epochs End of May, and we've gone interrupted since then.
So just to celebrate, I think I'll make something to commemorate the moment and your little concern that you caused us for a second, because we are anxious beings. So yeah, I will send you an NFT 420. Let me know which wallet you want it in.
Thank you.
It might be from the cat. I don't know yet.
I will do that and tell Leonidas I said thank you in advance. Thank you, everybody. That's the end of the Epochs End. We'll be back. Let me check real quick. What is the next Epochs End? It will be on Thursday the 29th. That will be, or no, yes. Yeah, so we'll see you guys there. It's a Thursday.
1 year of Shelly.
Before we end this 420, did we already hear from Dumpling in regards to the Chinese market? Or
I think you might have missed it. It was kind of a brief one today.
Sorry, guys. My apologies. I was a bit late. My apologies.
It's okay. There should be a recording available thanks to Does God Play Dice? I think his ticker is
CBS?
ClearBlox?
Yeah, ClearBlox.
Yeah, CBS. So do give him some support. He's done this recording for us and he puts it on YouTube, which is always a great thing and gives more people access. So thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Awesome, guys. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys.
Thank you.